Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Friday, February 13th, 2020. Prescribed fires continue to be planned or ongoing across Utah, portions of Nevada, and up into western Wyoming. We did have a few wildfires in the last week, and most of these prescribed fires are pile burns. Precipitation for the past 7 to 14 days is shown here. We finally have something to talk about with some precip this past week. Higher precip totals were found over the central Idaho Mountains into western Wyoming, some limited amounts over Nevada, and then right along the northern Wasatch Front, some heavier totals were also observed. However, the percent of normal for the past 14 days is still quite a bit below where we should be this time of year. Even though it seems like maybe we did see quite a bit of precipitation in some areas, it's still below normal for what we would normally expect. But there is more in the forecast, so we'll keep looking forward to that. Snowfall for the past 72 hours is shown here again. This doesn't show the snowfall in Idaho, which was just before that window. However, snow to western Wyoming, the mountains of northern Utah, and to some extent the Sierra Front, although kind of just right over the California border. Along the Wasatch Front, some reports were up to 8 to 12 plus inches over the mountains here. And then our snow depths still showing basically the same story, where our greatest snow depths are found over the central Idaho Mountains and into western Wyoming, and to a lesser extent northern Utah. Snowpack is shown here. Again, with the recent storms we've had, we're really not seeing much of a change in snowpack in many areas, barely hanging on to some average, just slightly below average snowpack levels over the central Idaho Mountains and into western Wyoming. Utah is still right around the 50th percentile in the mountains there, and even lower further south. Much of Nevada doesn't have much snowpack at all, but right along the Sierra Front, some of those values are a little bit better. We hope to see these values improving with the next storm that's coming next week, or the next series of storms coming next week. For today, the low continues to move across the Great Basin. We've got cloud cover and moisture still in place over central and southern Utah for continued valley rain and mountain snow there today. Again, today for the forecast, drying and clearing moving in from the west, but that moisture still in place with the associated low over southern and eastern Utah. Ventilation rates are decreasing across the north with the kind of drier, milder weather moving in for the weekend, decreasing wind speeds across the north. Again, looking at the wind speeds for today, pretty light winds across much of the area. The stronger winds are to our south, and mixing heights are decreasing across the north as well as that low exits the area. Just some higher values there over southern Nevada. Precipitation for today is expected over southern and southeast Utah and the Arizona Strip, with clearing further north. And maximum temperatures are still on the warm side, above normal for the time of year, at least, maybe 3 to 5 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer across the eastern portions, and definitely warmer across the west. Saturday and Sunday look to be kind of a break day, with a temporary ridge building in across the area, keeping things warm. Maybe a little bit of precip coming to the central Idaho Mountains on Saturday, with the first little pieces of the moisture coming from that next low off the coast. Ventilation rates improving, however, as we will see some wind speeds picking up, especially across the west. On Saturday, again, those wind speeds starting to pick up over Idaho and western and central Nevada ahead of that next low. Mixing heights, kind of a mixed bag across the area as well. Precipitation on Saturday is really expected to be just limited to the northern central Idaho Mountains here, with clearing further south and east. Minimum temperatures are still above freezing for most areas tomorrow night. Maybe some of our lowest valleys will see some freezing, and then our mountain areas, but generally still a pretty warm air mass. On Sunday, again, a generally drier day across the area, with winds starting to pick up ahead of this low off the California coast. This is a low that will be bringing another series of winter storms to the area. Ventilation rates improving on Sunday with the increase in winds. Again, transport winds on Sunday picking up across Nevada and into Utah, up into western Wyoming, and mixing heights improving as well. No precipitation really is expected on Sunday just yet. Maybe some lingering showers over the northern Idaho mountains, but we can see the moisture starting to move into California. Cloud cover shown here, really looking for continued cloud cover over Utah on Sunday, but some clearing across Idaho and northern Nevada. The 3-day precip totals again shown here. The precip coming to Utah is coming today, and then Idaho on Saturday into Sunday. The next big system moves into the area on Monday, really late in the day Monday, late afternoon into the evening and overnight hours, and then really sticks with us through the bulk of the work week. So starting late on Monday, we'll see the precipitation moving in. Ventilation rates are going to be really good through the week. And that low continues to be in place across the area on Tuesday. Cooler temperatures moving in and some precipitation. Ventilation rates are looking good as well. On Wednesday, another shot of cooler air coming into the basin, enhancing some precipitation. These images don't really show very well the precipitation that we're expecting, but I'll show that in just a minute. Ventilation rates still staying very good on Wednesday. And that continues into Thursday. So the lows continue to just move through the bulk of the work week next week for continued showery activity. The clearing index for the next couple of days shows some lower values across Utah today and tomorrow, except for all but southwest Utah today, lower tomorrow, and then increasing again on Sunday as the winds pick up ahead of that next system. Precipitation trends or values here for days 6 and 7. This is Wednesday through Friday, again showing decent precipitation across much of the area, especially over the higher elevations, even down to southern Utah and the Arizona Strip. Looking for high elevation snow, mid elevation snow. I don't know how much we'll see at the lowest elevations, but definitely a colder system than the one we had over the last couple of days. And here's the full 7-day total. So a great change to the weather pattern from what we were seeing a week ago. Precipitation coming to most areas in the Great Basin, from the north to the south, high elevation snow, high and mid elevation snow. Maybe this can make a little bit of a dent in our snowpack. And the 7-day snow totals from now to next Friday shown here. So again, the biggest winners snow-wise are going to be the mountains of Utah, northern and southern Utah, and portions of central and southern Nevada. Idaho and Wyoming will still see some snow as well, and then the Sierra Front can see some decent, pretty impressive totals if this forecast pans out. But some of these lighter oranges, we're looking at 24 to 32 inches of snow. Again, this is over about 3 to 4 day period during the work week next week. And then the extended forecast, February 20th through the 26th, keeps cooler temperatures in place across the western U.S. and above normal chances continuing over Idaho and into northern Utah and northern Nevada. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Monday for the latest updates.